This is what happens when you touch a narcissist's sensitive nerve. Have you ever noticed how narcissists, despite their outward confidence, seem to crumble under pressure? A single blow to their ego, and it's like watching a fragile glass shatter into countless pieces. They interpret even the slightest comment as criticism or an attack. When you hit a nerve, they struggle to process it. If the odds are in their favor and no one is watching, their inner rage breaks free, revealing the monster lurking beneath their facade. However, when the situation doesn't permit such an outburst, they shift to indirect but equally destructive tactics. In this episode, we'll uncover the hidden strategies narcissists use to shield their fragile egos and explore how they retaliate when their vulnerabilities are exposed. Stick around. Welcome back to Narcissist and Karma. Today's episode dives into a fascinating topic. This is what happens when you touch a narcissist's sensitive nerve. These signs are subtle and often overlooked unless you can read between the lines of their body language and behavior. Be sure to stay until the very end. You won't want to miss the chance to truly expose these patterns. Sign number 1. The mask of fake calmness. When a narcissist feels exposed, they often mask their emotions with a facade of calmness to appear untouchable. They want you to believe they're invincible, immune to anything you say or do. But if you look closely, subtle cues give them away. A clenched jaw, reddened eyes, or a stiff posture signaling their suppressed anger. Despite this controlled exterior, their rage simmers beneath the surface. They know that an outburst in public would unveil their true selves, so they keep it bottled up. What does this reveal? It shows they are capable of controlling their anger, but choose not to when they think they can get away with it. In private, where there are no witnesses, they unleash their wrath. They attack with cruel words, aiming to crush you emotionally because they lack a conscience. The only time they exercise restraint is when the consequences could significantly affect them. Otherwise, they will let their rage fester until they can weaponize it later. This sign is your clue to whether or not you've triggered them. While many believe narcissists always react with immediate outbursts, the reality is that their response can be delayed and much more calculated. Sign number 2. Backhanded compliments disguised as praise. When you strike a nerve, narcissists often resort to subtle digs wrapped in flattery. For example, they might say something like, "You're so brave and strong for opening up and sharing your feelings, even though you're wrong." This backhanded compliment serves two purposes. It undermines you while confusing you at the same time. You're left wondering, was that a compliment or an insult? This tactic is especially common among covert narcissists, who value their public image above all else. They craft these comments carefully to maintain their kind persona while subtly putting you down. They want others to see them as calm, wise, and composed, someone who provides constructive feedback. Rather than directly confronting you with hostility, they opt for subliminal messages that only you can decode. Their aim? To throw you off balance and force you to play along. If you react to their passive-aggressive remarks, they can spin the situation to make you seem unstable or overly sensitive. By veiling their insults in compliments, they protect their image while delivering their attack. Recognizing this behavior for what it is can help you see through their facade and regain control. If you notice discomfort in their expression, an unnatural smile, piercing eyes like a predator, or a look that seems out of place, it's clear their sarcastic remarks are irrelevant. You've struck a chord deep within them. Sign number 3, the endless over-explanation. This is a subtle sign, but it speaks volumes. Narcissists will often over-explain, using convoluted word salad to avoid directly addressing a point. Public figures with narcissistic tendencies are notorious for this when faced with uncomfortable or challenging questions. Instead of providing a clear, straightforward answer, often just a simple yes or no, they take you on a meandering journey through unrelated anecdotes. They might launch into a story about their child's advice, share irrelevant details about their divorce, or lead the discussion so far off track that everyone forgets the original question. This behavior reveals that you've touched a nerve. Buried within their ramblings, they'll often slip in dismissive remarks, pointing out your supposed flaws or questioning your sanity for daring to challenge their authority. They present themselves as the hero, the one saving the day, while subtly painting you as the antagonist, the one intent on causing harm or chaos. Suddenly, you're labeled as the destructive force, the disruptor of peace, even if you've done nothing wrong. When you notice this defensive deflection, it's a sign you've confronted something they can't face. Narcissists dread being exposed, particularly in public, and they despise those who demand accountability. That's why their disdain can feel so personal and intense. Sign number 4. Fixation on your flaws. Another telltale reaction is their sudden obsession with your imperfections. They magnify minor flaws or insignificant shortcomings, using them to distract others and deflect from the real issue at hand. They'll employ whataboutism to shift the focus. What about you? Becomes their rallying cry. They'll dredge up unrelated issues or irrelevant comparisons to trigger an emotional response from you. This tactic aims to derail the conversation entirely. Before you know it, the discussion has veered far from their behavior to a critique of yours. The narcissist forces you to defend yourself, making you forget the initial point. They thrive on creating false equivalences, attempting to balance the scales by exaggerating your minor flaws to match their significant transgressions. You say, "I'm at fault," but what about you? You're no better. You're flawed too. While their logic may be flawed, the intention is clear. They want to disarm you, shifting attention away from their shortcomings. But remember, when a narcissist magnifies your trivial imperfections, you've hit a nerve they can't ignore. Sign number 5. Spreading malicious lies. When deeply triggered, narcissists often resort to spreading lies about you. They fabricate stories to undermine your reputation, compelling you to defend yourself. Whether it's claiming you're trying to sabotage their life, steal their ideas, or ruin their reputation, they won't hesitate to share this misinformation publicly. Their goal is to provoke you into a reaction. By painting themselves as the victim, they attempt to rally support against you. They crave the significance that comes from engaging you in a fight, believing this puts them on equal footing with you. If you refuse to engage, their feelings of insignificance intensify. To counter this, they escalate their efforts, hoping to drag you down to their level emotionally. But here's the key: the narcissist is their own worst enemy. When they focus all their energy on tearing you down, they often end up unraveling themselves. The best strategy: do nothing. Let them exhaust themselves in their self-destructive spiral. Which of these behaviors resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know if this episode shed light on your experiences. Let's wrap it up here. Until next time, as always, let the healing begin and continue.